꾸삐 오버워치 디자이너에게 직접 사인을 받았습니다. 운자라고 적혀있네요.
What's your name?
My name is Munza Chi.
어떤 계기로 레고 디자이너가 되셨는지.
So it all started when I bought the first Lego set for my kid. Before that, I had a long period of what fans would call it the dark ages, and I didn't play with Lego for a long time. So when I bought the first set for my kid and I was helping him to build it, I recognized the quality of the bricks, and I was fascinated how they just use a few bricks, click it together, and you create certain functions and play features and all that. And that sort of inspired me to want to build something on my own, because after looking at all these things, I started to realize there were a lot of fans out there and they were building their own creations. And I realized that you can actually use Lego to build whatever you want to build with. And that sort of inspired me to try something on my own. I started with it. One project sort of gives you more confidence to go to another. And before I know it, I was building it for a while. One day, someone on the fan pages posted a post and say that Lego is hiring. And I was excited, so I applied and tried.
이번에 오버워치 이 제품을 디자인을 하셨다고 들었는데 디자인하실 때 관련된 해프닝 같은 건 혹시 없는지?
Well, with the Diva set, when we first started, we tried with a smaller scale, because we want to stay true to how the reference is, and the Mac isn't really that big compared to a minifigure. But when we tested with fans, and when we started building many different sizes to try, we ultimately came to the point where we realized that the sets need to have a certain size when you're holding it, or when you're displaying it. So we ended up with quite a sizable model. Because that way it looks better. You can put in a little bit more detail and make it more accurate to the reference material. And what I really wanted to put in the set was the fact that Diva can enter the Mac from the back, just like in the game. And that requires me to build quite a structure that is stable, and it needs quite a certain size to achieve that. And so that's what we ended up with. And with Reinhardt, we know that some of the fans like to display the minifigure as a lineup. So we made it possible that you can remove Reinhardt as a minifigure and display him. And for that purpose, we also make it possible that you can remove a part of the big hammer to create a smaller hammer for him.
It's cool. 바스티온은 좀 크게 나왔는데 저 디바나 라인하르트도 그 바스티온 사이즈처럼 나오는지.
As in, you mean the big transforming bastion? No, I can't answer that. So you wanna...
이 세트를 디자인할 때 혹시 좀 어려웠던 점 같은 것들?
The most difficult, the most challenging part is actually getting the shape of Diva. So Diva as a mech, it's rather curvy. It has a top-heavy design, and to achieve that, it kind of draws back to what I talked about this while we were exploring the sizes. It is also tied into the fact that we need a rather stable model. A strong structure to hold, a top-heavy Mac, and because of that, we ended up with what we have today. Where if you look at the reference material, the Mac compared to the Pilot isn't exactly that much bigger. But as a play set, when the fans were playing with it, when we showed it to them, when we were testing all these ideas and sizes, everybody felt good with this size. It's quite a good size when you hold it in your hand. It's quite a good size when you're displaying it. As compared to say a smaller size.
이 제품에 자기가 만족하시는지?
Yes, we are very happy with how it turns out. The whole design process, we did it very closely with Blizzard itself, with Team 4, which is the team that designed the Overwatch game, and a lot of the design decisions are in discussion with them. And in terms of the shaping of Diva, it went through quite a bit of iterations, so we did quite a few different way of building, and ultimately we ended what we had, and that's what everybody thought it's the best resemblance of the actual reference material.